AC7P, scene 4, test number 1, action. Hey guys, Aaron Zagarba here, and today in this video, we are going to be going over the AC7P camcorder. So let's get started. Alright, so as you can see behind me, we got two cameras. One I've already done the video on, the HMC 150, and the AC7P. Now, one of those names are kind of hard to swallow. These are the two Panasonic cameras that we have here at the Digital Media Studio. Now, we do have a couple more Panasonic cameras, but these are my personal favorites because of just how old they are and just how good they look. So, first off, HMC 150, an amazing camera. Early mid-2000s camera. A really nice camera. Now, one of the main differences between these two cameras is the HMC 150 has a little bit less, the HMC 150 has more controls and stuff on it than the AC7P. The advantage to this is, first off, it has a longer zoom range than the HMC 150. There's also a couple other differences that you have with it, and they're kind of for different jobs. One is the way you hold it for the HMC 150 is more like an actual camcorder where one hand goes here, one other hand is on the lens, and then this one is more of a shoulder-mounted camcorder. So I guess more for TV. This one would be more for TV, and of course this one is more documentary kind of style work. And one thing that I use constantly when I'm operating with these cameras is a monitor. That's because the LCD screens on these cameras aren't that great. They aren't as high quality, so you can't tell everything that's going on. So the best solution is attach a monitor. They both have HDMI ports on their back side. This one has it on the side here. Now, unfortunately, the only HDMI we had was this really long one right here. That's one problem that we kind of have, so we have to wrap it around the camera when we're using it. But they do take these pretty big batteries right here. I think both of them take the same one, the Li ion batteries. Yep, they both take the same battery. You can kind of tell they're designed for different jobs too, if you take a closer look. Obviously, the arrangement of the battery is different. This one's obviously meant for really quick access. This one is obviously more meant for TV work. So one main inputs it has is some of these older inputs like video out and left and right audio channels right here on the side. We also, of course, both of these have a headphone jack for that. This one is a little different in the way it differs on how you can attach a microphone. This one is XLR only, while this other one right here, the AC7P, has one of these jacks right here. So you got XLR, more professional, and you got this one right here, which you can attach a Rode video mic to. Now, I'm not able to fit it because of the monitor, but normally you could actually fit this on here and put it on, basically use this. Or something else that I did with this camera is a while back is the lavalier that I'm recording with now, the wireless lavalier system that I have. You're actually able to attach it to this camera and it works perfectly. Now, like I said, both these cameras have different jobs, more or less, in what they're built for. So first off, HMC 150, I really love this camera. I can't explain how much I really love this camera, especially since I shot one of my movies on this. One of my first movies I've ever made at this college, the no clip short film. So currently we have a XLR mic attached to it, and that's what we have for the settings here. Now, I've already done a video on this. You can go check that out there. I'll link it there. But what we have with this one is the battery mounts to the side. Take this out. You can kind of tell just the way it's designed that it's more meant for TV kind of work. We got a little SD card slot on the side here, HDMI port obviously, and then USB port right there, USB mini I think it is. And the only real problem I think that this camera has going with it is when you are holding it like, you know, on your shoulder, the way your eye goes in through the eyepiece, it kind of bumps up against the camera body itself. So if this could have come out a little bit further, that would be nice. but that's really its only problem. It does feel a little bit more cheaper than the HMC 150. I do think that the HMC 150 has more metal built into it, so it's obviously going to be more durable. Now, both of these cameras are pretty lightweight, especially this one since it's mainly hard plastic body. The nice advantage to this camera is it has a really long zoom range. Now, obviously, you're probably not going to get a steady shot from that with such a long zoom range, but the fact is when you're, of course, obviously working with television, something could be happening. Something crazy could be happening and you're, working for the television station and you need to zoom in on that. This gives you that range to do that if you actually absolutely need to. Now, of course, it also has the manual controls and AI controls or autofocus. So you can manually focus to this focus ring right here. Of course, we got the LCD screen. For both these cameras, I use the LCD screen. It helps me better focus with the camera. Just be able to shoot a little bit better than I would be if I was just looking at this screen. So I can see more detail on the LCD monitor right there, and I can also focus a little better. So if I'm pulling focus on an object or something like that, I can see it a little better on the monitor than I could on the little screen right here. Now, just like the other one, on switches on the side, put your hand right here, zoom, toggle right here on the side, and then of course you could take it off. I'm gonna unplug this monitor just so y'all could get a better idea of what it will look like when it's on the shoulder without all this extra junk in the way. This is pretty much what it would look like when you have it mounted on your shoulder. So you could look through the eyepiece right here, just like that. Now, it does have a built-in microphone, which is also really nice, just like this one has, but which is really nice. I do think that built-in microphones are a really good thing to have if either your microphone breaks, your main microphone breaks, or something like that happens, or you don't have enough money to have a microphone, or you just want to have like a shot that sounds like it just came directly out of the camera, which obviously it does, but just as a backup audio source, you do have that option to use the built-in microphone. So this is what the LCD screen looks like when you pull it out. So normally when you hold this, it is kind of a bulkier camera, so you got to keep it close to your body, just like that. And you can, of course, focus it in and out. You can put it on AI focus, so it will automatically focus, but that doesn't mean it will automatically focus on everything. So there is kind of a caveat there. You can also put the screen like that if you needed to, and you had another monitor set up. Now, if we move to the other side, you can clearly see some of the other ports when they open. HDMI, all that stuff. SD card right here, close that. And then of course, all the different ports you need, the video ports and all that. Headphone jack right here. And the weird thing is how the jack for the microphone is that it's built right here, right on the side here. So it is in kind of an odd position. This camera can also take photos too. That doesn't mean they're the greatest, but you can still do that. You can also, if you go into menu settings, you can change the recording mode from, they're all 1920 by 1080, except to select few. So you got HA 1920 by 1080, HG 1920 by 1080, HX 1920 by 1080, HE 1920 by 1080, SA, and SX record modes. So you can change between those. Now, of course, there's some other settings you can get, like grids and stuff like that. Normally that's what I use for my guidelines, to be able to tell what is going on the camera while I am recording. You can also change some other settings. You have anti-shake and stuff like that. You can change the aspect ratio. I'm pretty sure you can change it to, let me see, 4:3, which if you wanted to, you can. It's not recommended, but normally you want to stay with 16:9. Normal and standard format, but you can change the aspect ratio if you wanted to. Of course, we got a zoom mode on how far you want the camera to be able to zoom into. I have it on its maximum, but you actually got a really nice, good long zoom range right here. And if you push it up, it'll turn on for the little viewfinder. Problem is, it's a little difficult to look through, and it's not the best. You also got this little handle on the top right here that you can basically hold it like that, and there's also another zoom toggle and a record button on there, and then two horseshoe mounts to mount microphones and lights and other stuff that you might need. So let's get into the camera. Alright, so now we are shooting on the AC7P. and this is what the video looks like coming from the AC7P. So right now, what I have for the setup is I have my Rode video mic attached to the top of the camera and plugged into it. So we're not using the built-in microphone because that's not going to sound very good. So that's how we have it set up right now. This is what the video looks like. I've adjusted it a little bit to make it look a little nicer, look a little better. It does take some work and getting used to on such a small little LCD screen and being able to see all the detail that you need to see. So there's a couple settings I had to kind of work on. So right now we're shooting on manual mode. This is not auto mode, but let me show you what it will look like if you do switch to auto mode or AI mode. Alright, so currently we are shooting in auto mode, and you can obviously tell my face has gotten a whole lot brighter. And of course the background, you can see that big bright white spot because it's in auto mode. It is automatically setting things, and it's doing like auto white balance, auto everything. So it's not going to be the best. Now obviously if you're running and gunning and you're in a situation where you can't always be constantly messing around with the camera, then that makes sense to go in auto mode because you simply just don't have the time. But normally you want to be shooting in manual. So if I switch back to manual, this is manual. It looks a whole lot more controlled. It's not extremely bright on my face, and you can just tell more of the difference between the two different modes. So this is what it looks like on the camera. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye.